Standing by to go in the Sulky with your host, Ken Workington.
Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment welcomes one of our favorite drivers here, and he is a young gun driver here, just 20 years old. He's making a name for himself here at the Meadowlands, already has. Joe Bongiorno, it's great to have you here, Joe. Thanks for joining us. You're on the sport's biggest stage here, and I still recall that night you won as a teenager here as an amateur at the age of 16. Of course, we were on the other side. Do you still remember that night?
Oh, absolutely. My first win here, you know, that was a spectacular moment on a horse named Oh What a Guy, and I remember it just like it was yesterday. And now to be racing with these top guys, it's an unbelievable feeling.
And when it happened, around that time, did you ever think that, you know, you'd be where you are today? Did you think, okay, this is it. This is the impetus for me to move forward and be, not only be a professional, but to race here as well?
I definitely thought I was going to make it here, just I didn't know when the move was the right time to be here. But right now, everything's working out the way I want it to, and I think I'm, you know, making an impact here.
Well, you're gaining a lot of experience both here and at Saratoga. Those summers at Saratoga are certainly paying off for you, back-to-back million-dollar seasons. You had another successful summer last year at Saratoga. How have things progressed? What did you learn driving there and working there?
You know, it's good to drive on all size tracks. I think driving on a half-mile track, a 5/8 mile track, and a mile track, I think it's a big advantage when you come to a track like this. You know, you have to learn patience, and to be here and stay patient. You could win races from behind right now also. And
you're also winning races, of course, and racing regularly. I know you want to race today at Freehold, another half-mile track. How do you make that transition to the mile track? What are some of the key differences?
You know, I think you can be more aggressive on a half-mile track. And I think on a mile track, you kind of have to take it easy. Obviously, there's times that you have to take a shot and leave the gate. But, you know, in a sense of a half-mile track, if you have the outside, you need to be into the race somehow.
Now, if you're a football player, you may be, or a quarterback, you work on your accuracy. You work on certain things. If you're a hockey player, you might work on your slap shot or wrist shot or whatever. As a harness driver, what are some of the key things or specific things that you go out there and work on night after night?
You know, you just go back, and I like to watch replays and learn from every single drive. You know, if I make a mistake, I understand I made a mistake, and I go to, you know, make a difference and try to not make that same mistake the next time. But, you know, in the sense of watching replays, I try to watch and, you know, have the timing right and pull at the right time or sit in at the right time. And, you know, that's my advantage.
And you stay out of the way, right? Yeah. You don't just pull and not have any trot or pace.
You try not to do that. Obviously, it does happen. A horse will trick you when they're in the hole. They'll feel good. But, you know, in that way, I try to stay out of the way as much as I can if I have a horse that doesn't seem like they're competing well.
Well, I think I'm making a good guess here that maybe your biggest night so far was last July, the 20th of July, a very special night for you. You had 3 big upsets, starting with Real Babe, a high-class trotting mare for Mark Carter. This was the Imalula Series. This one also followed by Seek the Dragon and All-American Apache. You won for your sister. But right here, what were your thoughts on Real Babe's win?
You know, this was unbelievable. I kind of, you know, the fractions worked out for me. And, you know, I tried to cut a cheap third quarter, and I got lucky I did that. And I saw Maven, and I thought I gave her the slipper on the last turn, and I got lucky, and I did.
What are any of the differences have you seen between, that was on the old track, and the new track? Anything?
There's not really a difference. I mean, the first set of qualifiers, it was a little bit different, but it's a mile track. You know, you're going around there one time, and you're going to finish, you know, at a different spot, but big deal. It's, you know, the same configuration, and I don't really see that big of a difference.
All right, Joe, let's fast forward to January the 4th of this year. Matador D scored his second straight upset for a trainer you've been driving regularly for, Brad Irvine, right here, pulls off a big upset, second straight upset in 151.
Yeah, he raced unbelievable those few weeks. And, you know, I know that Brad added a set of knee spreaders, which really seemed to help this horse. I mean, I drove him a start at Chester, and he was all over his knees. And, you know, since Brad's put those knee spreaders on, he's been very consistent, and we actually qualified him today, and he qualified pretty good.
Oh, terrific. We'll look for Matador D for in future racing engagements. Looking forward to January the 11th, again for Brad Irvine. Matador D, second straight upset for, or actually he rocked the tote board, paid $87.40. Really turned the corner there on January 11th. What was the key to turning this horse around?
I really don't know. You know, this is a horse that Brad got from a friend of his, Jess Hensley, And he seemed to find the key to this horse. Whatever it was, both times I raced him from off the pace, he raced unbelievable. That last start I gave him, I come first over with him, and he really didn't like that. He kind of got a little sour on me, and he didn't really like that trip. But when we came from behind, both times he kicked home 26 in a piece, and he impressed me both of those starts.
Sounds like one of those key things to be familiar with what certain horses like to do, the trips that they like. Right.
Yeah, they all have their certain, quirks, and that particular horse liked to race on the wood and then, slip out late and, pace home. But there's certain horses that like to be first over, and that's just the nature of the game.
All right. Well, the big horse is in tonight. I call him the big horse because he won the feature here, the $30,000 open trot in 152 and 2. World Cup goes for 3 in a row in tonight's feature race. And this horse really, he had some back class. He showed some good miles last year. And he has really revived his form. Talk about this relentless stretch run here.
This was unbelievable. This is probably one of the biggest wins of my career. And, to win an Open at the Meadowlands is unbelievable, And this horse is an unbelievable animal, and I don't know where his end is. I know that he closes faster than these horses, the last 2 starts. And I think a horse that could close like that always competes no matter what race they're in.
So you're looking for maybe a stalking trip tonight and try to make that late run with him?
I don't know. We'll see behind the gate how it looks behind the gate. A 5-horse field, and I don't know what they're gonna plan to do with Sweet Justice and Daylon Magician after last week, but we'll see, and I'll plan behind the gate.
All right. So that is one of your 4 drives tonight. I know you've got 8 drives on Saturday, 6 for Brad Irvine in race 4. The 2 smoke pan mirrors for Brian McGee. Draws inside off an upset at Yonkers. How do you approach a new mount like that?
Well, I drove her last year or a year and a half ago, and I had a lot of luck with her. Unluckily, I haven't had a shot to drive her since I came back here, but finally I got the drive back, and I'm hoping that she responds well.
Is this a horse that likes to make one late run in the stretch?
I think she's a late run horse. I know she doesn't leave the gate that well, but I think she can kick home as fast as any of these horses in here.
All right, race 10, the 1 Hasty Prophet, a beaten favorite coming off a solid season, or I should say solid speed try for trainer Brad Irvine.
Yeah, this is actually a very interesting horse. He was like 24 for 26 when they bought him out of Iowa.
King of the Iowa Fairs, right?
Yeah, he was an unbelievable horse there, and I think they had a little bit of trouble getting him right when he first came over here. But since we made a few shoeing changes, I think that the horse has been a lot better, and I've sat behind him more now, and I have more suggestions when I get off the bike, and I think tonight he might be a little bit better.
All right, so a little tinkering has paid off with Hasty Prophet. And finally in the 13th race, the 8 Langko Express. This one comes in fresh off a wake-up mile at Freehold.
She impressed me last week at Freehold, and she really doesn't get around the turns that well over at Freehold, and that half-mile track, 4 turns kind of hurt her. I really think that 2 turns will help her tonight, and I think the big track will help her a lot.
So are we going to find you on the front end with that one?
No, not on the front. She's a better stalker, that one.
All right. Some Facebook page questions here. Mike Rosenblatt, any ideas how harness racing can attract younger participants like you?
I think, a main thing there is promotional events, and I think that, people need to have more of a connection with the horse. If people came around these horses and saw the spectacular things that they can do and, all the work that they go through to be here every week, it's unbelievable, and I think that if they learn more about the animal, I think you'll attract more people. And also, I also think, different camera views in a race. I think, if you had a camera on the starting gate, when they're behind the gate, or a camera even on a horse's, on a driver's helmet. Right. I think stuff like that could attract fans once they're here. But to get them here, I think they need more of a connection with the horse.
Great ideas. Now, Hayden King asks, what's your greatest achievement in the sport? I think that's easy, right?
Yeah, my greatest achievement was probably my win there with Real Babe, back in July, and probably this recent win with World Cup was a huge win in my career.
Are you ready for that maybe that big drive in the Meadowlands pace or something like that, even if it's a long shot?
I feel I'm ready, but that'll take time to pick up a good stakes drive like that. But I feel ready to do it, and I'm just hoping to get lucky and pick something up.
All right, Joey McWhinney asks, who is your favorite horse and who's your favorite driver?
My favorite horse, there's only one horse that gives me chills when I watch him race, and that's Foiled again. He's just a tough horse. No matter what trip he gets, he's just a really, really tough horse, and that TVG race really gave me the chills.
All right, well, terrific stuff. What are your plans for the summer, or have you made any yet? It's kind of early.
My plans, I really don't know exactly yet. I'm either going to probably stay around here or head back to Saratoga, but right now, if we stay on the track that we're on right now, I think I'll probably end up staying around here.
Well, Joe Bongiorno, always a pleasure to deal with you and to have you on. You're a class act. Best of luck in 2014. Hope to have you on again. Joe Bongiorno will have Wendy Ross up next to tee up our feature race.
Thank you.